Greetings, this is Cassandra-Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates. I'll be honest, it was a late night. I'm just getting up, so give me a minute. Something's caught in my throat. I'm going to need to get some water. I'm going to play some music in the meantime. I'll be back to do this live, child. All right. I got big head. All right. All right. Apologize for the delay in starting, but at least I get the live going. Had a late night. So I had a late day starting. Anyway, I swallowed wrong. My name is Cassandra-Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. And today, people, is the full moon. You understand? And I wanted to do this live last night, but I had the goodness. I had the Zoom call last night about the event that we're doing on November 19th on Tuesday, which was really good. It was about almost 3 hours long, and it was a good call. And this week, as you know, has already been big. Today is the 15th, okay? So this week was energetically huge. We started the week with the 1111 portal on Monday, i.e. Veterans Day, i.e. the 2-year anniversary of the founding of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. So it was a big week. Today, we are squarely inside of the the full moon in Taurus that is being influenced by a host of other greetings. Java Watson, balance. Oh, you know what? Where's my phone? That is being this full moon in this full moon in Taurus that is surrounded. Y'all have to excuse me. I swallowed wrong and I haven't been able to clear this thing. This full moon in Taurus that is surrounded by a host of other influences. Greetings, Tajali. And so I want to talk to you about that. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that for a little bit. It's not going to be the theme of the whole live because there are other things that have happened this week that I want to talk about within the context of what is coming down the pike on November 19th. Okay. I don't know if I have, at least in the last greetings tomorrow, I don't know if I have in the last few weeks communicated clearly and urgently enough the significance of why this thing that I am plotting must happen on the 19th and why you should feel compelled to participate. I don't know if I've communicated that clearly enough. Last night, and what I was really hoping would be a simple last night and what I was hoping would be a simple a simple logistical meeting about the event on November 19th ended up being a pretty thorough and long and much needed explanation about why November 19th. And it got me thinking after I did the last the live last night is hindsight is 2020, honestly. I've been doing a lot of videos over the last 2 or 3 months that in my mind were doing an adequate job of communicating why the urgency of November 19th, why I would not be getting my tail feathers in a ruffle about November 5th, about why we have to be really diligent in the process of exercising real power. And the easiest way for us to do that is to take ownership and control over our own, not ownership and control over our emotions as much as taking ownership and control over that which we allow into us that we know will trigger our emotions. Do you understand what I'm saying? Taking ownership and control over what we allow into our space that we know will trigger us if we get engaged. Being diligent about where, about the type of social media we consume, about the information that we consume, about how everything is wrong in the world and the world has gone to shit and there is no hope. You feel me? Like that type of shit. And what I think that I have failed to do, there was no live last night. This is the live. I couldn't figure out how to edit the live that I did last night in a way, because it wasn't a live. It was literally, I went live by accident for like a minute and 24 seconds. And what I was trying to do was edit this live to change the time from last night to this morning. This is the live. So you didn't miss anything is what I'm saying. But anyway, I think what in hindsight, I failed to do with every live that I have done since February 20th of 2022 is that every single live that I had done, I should have been making a direct connection, a direct correlation to this 2-year period of time that we've had to prepare for what is coming. We have been given, past tense, 2 years to prepare for what is coming. And I think that the thing that I failed to clearly do, even when I would do lives about like astrology, like I'm going to do today, or when I'm doing, a tarot pull for the temple, like I did a couple of days ago, I think that the thing, again, in hindsight, that I failed to do was to always, whatever it is I'm talking about, whatever it is I'm doing, at the end, wrapping it up and drawing a connection, a direct connection to why what is happening on Tuesday is so fucking important that I have been obsessing about it for 2 years and studying and talking about it for 4 or 5 years. And so it's not an accident that this event, I believe that this event is exactly 2 weeks to the date after the election, which still has all of you in a state of distress and duress and uncertainty and all the things. And last week, 2 weeks, last week, when y'all went out to vote, I could feel in my house, because I didn't leave my house that day. I did the live for that morning before y'all ran out to vote. And then from my house, I went straight up to the observatory to conduct ritual, because I was like, I can't let everybody's emotional shit, because it was palpable that day. I was like, I don't have the space. I don't have the energy to be feeling everybody's shit, to be feeling everybody's fear, to be feeling everybody's uncertainty. I don't have the place for it. And just in that drive from my apartment to the mountain, it was like y'all emotions was like bullets trying to penetrate my car. And I understood, let me go lock these cats up because they starting with this bullshit already. Yeah, I'm talking about y'all. All right, sorry about that. Maybe chill up until the moment I open up this laptop. That's gonna have to be my that's gonna have to be, I hate it, but that's gonna have to be my go-to. As soon as I open up the laptop, they want to start making noise and trashing the place. I'm gonna have to start locking them up every time I get up in here. Don't y'all be shouting them old bad cats out. Hey Storm, hey Temp, behave. They, like I said, they chill when I ain't talking to y'all, but when they ain't the center of attention, they wrecking shit. They literally rolling through here like a tornado, like a black and gray tornado. Anyway, I'm saying all of this because Tuesday, November 19th, is such a welcome and epic event. It is the culmination, it is the simultaneous completion and beginning of a whole new period in human history. It is the completion of an age. It is the completion of an age. It is also at the same time the birth of the new age. It is at the same time the birth of the beginning of what we have been saying, what our grandparents have been saying, what our parents have been saying, what our great-grandparents have been praying for, is a new period, a new time in human history, where those of us who have been nothing but flesh encapsulated androids churning out wealth for the few. That's why our life has been what it is. I'm not trying to oversimplify. I'm not trying to I'm just trying to tell you that under a capitalist society, under a global corporatocracy, under under a, and this is not just recently, since at minimal since the Roman Empire, this has been our life and this has been our purpose, regardless of what our parents taught us, regardless of what the news and the media and the flash and the flare said about you can be anything you want to be and this and this and this and this. When we were born, there was a head count taken on us, and we were instantly reduced to a commodity that in some way or another, whether we, quote, achieved our dreams or not, was going to produce the majority of our life for someone else. And I know that is hard for a lot of you to hear, but it shouldn't be hard to accept that even if you become a doctor, even if you become an astronaut, even if you become the thing that is your wildest dreams, you still live in a world that is globally constructed and dominated by the few who see you as a commodity. And anything that you create and anything that you produce while the world remains as it is, the majority of what you create and produce automatically belongs to someone else. This is the way that it is. Now, I'm not going to go into a diatribe about it. I did a I did a live a few days ago, the day of the election, as a matter of fact. The live that I did the day of the election was entitled "Billionaires Are Everything That's Wrong with Your Life." You can go back to that live and understand what it is I am talking about. when I show you a map of the United States, and the map demonstrates the wealthiest people in each one of the 50 states, and has their head cut out, like a little image of their head cut out, you feel me? And the richest person, they face is planted on every single state in the union, you feel me? And when you look at this picture, and every face plastered on top of, superimposed on top of every state in the union is white, every single solitary state. And of those 50 richest people in each state, all but, what was it, 4 are male, 4 females, and the rest is males, white males. Half of those white people, a little less than half, I think it was 48% of those white people that you can say they just the richest person in the state, you feel me? 48% of those white-skinned people are Jewish. Now, you can be talking about conspiracy theories till you're blue in the face, but I like numbers. I like statistics. I like visual confirmation of this thing that's plaguing my fucking brain. You feel me? And I'm looking at this map that I used as the thumbnail for that piece. Billionaires are what's wrong. Billionaires are everything that's wrong with your life. Every problem that you can identify as a problem with your life is a billionaire's fault, bitch. You can accept it or reject it. I do not care. I like numbers. I like stats. I like history. I like proof. I like evidence. And to see a map, it's one thing to be like, the wealthy, the 1%, the corporatocracy, this and this and this and this. It is quite another to see an image of the supposed land of the free, home of the brave, where everybody has an equal opportunity to, if you just pull yourself up by the bootstraps that was probably a Freudian slip. You just pull yourself up by the bootstraps, shit, you feel me? Melting pot where all are welcome, you understand, and this and that, and such and such. There's one thing to believe that in your brain. The myth, the lie, the make-believe. You understand? It is quite another to see a map of the United States in 2024 with the pictures of all of these rich white men. It wasn't 4, it was 7 white women. I think it was 7 white women. All these rich white men and 7 white women who are the richest person in each state. And you do not think in your mind that how they live is directly tied to how you live. That how they live depends upon the imposed poverty and withoutness that you are forced to live. Those things are married, bitch. Those things are linked. They are linked. There are 813 billionaires in the United States. 813 billionaires. In the year 2020, just before the pandemic, statistics taken literally months before the pandemic, there were 660 less billionaires. 660 people in the United States became billionaires during COVID, in the 2 years of the height of COVID. Where do you think them billions of dollars came from to make 660 new people billionaires during the worst pandemic crisis in the modern age? Where do you think them billions came from? Where do you think them billions came from? This shit blew my mind because we believe that we live in the land of the free and the home of the brave. We believe that shit. We believe that we live in an egalitarian society where everybody can make it if they wasn't lazy. If your ass ain't made a bitch in America, you just lazy. You just ain't pull yourself up by the bootstraps. That's all. You just gotta what princess, what's her name? Tia say on y'all know I'm always I talk in movie. That's my second language. I talk in movie. What's the little the frog and the princess? She said, you just gotta work a little harder, you gotta dig a little deeper. And she is grinding herself to the bone, putting pennies in a motherfucking bank account, dropping pennies every night in a piggy bank, trying to buy her dream, trying to make her mama and her daddy proud, to quote, buy her dream. She working her ass to the bone. Meanwhile, her best friend, rich bitch that she is just playing dress up every day. Ain't working, but surrounded by opulence. Her daddy ain't working, but surrounded, damn near drowning in wealth. And then this little girl, she say, you know, I just ain't working enough jobs. Let me go get another job. That's what's wrong. It's just me. It's just me. It's just me. I ain't found the right angle yet. You know what I'm saying? I ain't invest right. You feel me? It's just me. It's just me. As a best friend. You know what I'm saying? It's surrounded by opulence. In a city where she's the minority, her best friend. In a city where she's the minority, she is drowning in opulence, and everybody that looked like her best friend, Tia, or whatever her name was, you feel me? Live in shanties. You remember they go from the big old mansion where her mama made the dress for the little white girl, and then they go to their little shanty house in like the 5th ward or whatever. Even as you are grinding your joints and bones to the ground, you can never come up. If hard work and quote pulling yourself up by the bootstraps was the guaranteed prerequisite for success and wealth that is supposed to mirror your hard work, you feel me? Then why are Black women in sub-Saharan Africa not the wealthiest motherfuckers on earth? Why they ain't the richest people on earth? Why ain't they the billionaires? If hard work was a guarantee prerequisite for the acquisition of wealth, why ain't factory workers in Indonesia the richest motherfuckers on earth? Why that ain't the case? If that was the case, why are there so many hundreds of millions of so-called untouchables in motherfucking India? If hard work was the guaranteed prerequisite for the acquisition of wealth and comfort and a good life. If hard work was the guaranteed prerequisite for the acquisition of wealth and comfort and a good life, why wasn't 400 years of free hard work not the thing that guaranteed us, the descendants of enslaved people, the descendants of indigenous, North American indigenous people? Why aren't we? Why isn't the United States in this motherfucking map that's got 50 white people faces on it, half of them Jewish descendant white European Jews, white people faces, plastered all over the United States as the richest people in every state in the Union? Why ain't it black, brown, and red and yellow faces plastered all over the United States? It was Asian people, it was yellow people who built the goddamn railways in the West Coast. It was black people who built the railways, all the rest across of the motherfucking country. It was indigenous people whose value of land was stolen from them. It was black people who not only built the actual structures that we call a society in this motherfucking country for free. It was black people who restored Europe, gave Europe wealth unimaginable from a myriad of places. cotton and gin and rum and sugar and the gamut. You just keep going over and over. Every structure, every motherfucking house that we hold up as some beautiful edifice of the antebellum period where women could just sip mint juleps on the porch and shit. Every last one of these houses been built by black bodies, black sweat, black blood, and black tears. Why aren't we the billionaires plastered on the faces of the southeast region of the country, of the north and northeast region of the country, of motherfucking Oakland, of goddamn LA? You understand what I'm saying? So get that shit out of your head. I'm trying to exorcise the demon of the American fallacy from your goddamn consciousness. I'm trying to exorcise the war god demon from your consciousness. America is a godhead, and we can love the land, and we can love the people, and we can love our memories here and still hate the institution. We can love the land and love the people and love our memories here, love the beauty and the vastness that is Turtle Island, that is North America, and still hate the institution. That's what I'm calling on y'all to do. To purge this make-believe mythological story from your consciousness that has you spinning your wheels and exhausting the energy of your life, the vibrant energy of your life that is to be spent happy and making love and being blissful. That is what life is supposed to be. Life is supposed to be spent in ecstasy with momentary, every once in a while, temporary traumatic things that happen that the community can gather around you and support you as you move through. Death is a natural part of the life process. But for your everyday life to be burdened by despair and how am I gonna and what am I gonna and oh my God, and I can't, there ain't enough days in the week for me to make sure that this and this and this and oh my God, there's a tyrant in the White House and democracy is died. Democracy never existed here. I'm gonna say it 1,000 times, 1,000 times, 1,000 times. Democracy has never existed in the United States of America. It has not. Not the way y'all think democracy is supposed to look, the vote and all of that. Democracy has never existed in the United States of America. And those moments where you think that this is the evidence and the demonstration of democracy, those moments, every single one of you on the ground, because it's always the working class, y'all. It's always working class. It's always the poor. It's always the working class. It's always the marginalized. It's always us that raise the fuck up and chisel out through hard work, through hard struggle, through loss of life. It is always us that forces democracy down the throat of this rotten bitch. You name a situation. Name a decade, name a period since this motherfucker was given birth to that you was like, okay, this was democracy. And I will show you the receipts of how much blood was shed for that thing to happen, how much fight, how many people had to pick up guns, how everything that you recognize as democracy in the United States, your people them fought and scrapped and battled and suffered like hell to enforce, to impose on America. Everything that looks like democracy in America was imposed on America, bitch. America didn't do out of the benevolence of its own heart and in an attempt to be the America that it say is gonna be. The Constitution is a document that solidified your invisibility as a human. That's what it did. It is a document no more toxic than the fucking Bible. It is a document no less evil. No less evil in its doings, in its impact on humans than the Bible, than the Torah, than the Talmud, than the Quran, than the Bhagavad Gita. I don't care what people say out their mouth and what ideations they have about these things. You can recite poetry and the poetry still be toxic and venomous and deadly to others. And in the name of those books, the Torah, the Talmud, the fucking Quran, the Bible, whatever version you see fit to claim, you feel me? The Bhagavad Gita, every single one of those books have been baptized in the blood of suffering, the blood of the sufferers. Every single one. Call me wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Every single one. And so those books, the ideological, religious, beautiful poetry about how we're supposed to live, as if we don't live in we didn't before meeting these books, as if we didn't live in a harmonious, beautiful relationship with our Mother Earth. Bitch, we don't need a bunch of men trying to seize power to tell us what it means to have morals. We don't need that. But y'all took the bait like we all do. Y'all drank the Kool-Aid like we all do. And let me tell you, those same institutions are the same institutions that are responsible for, not in partnership with, responsible for, not in partnership with, the fathers of what you know as the state today. What you know as the state today was given birth to by these religious ideologies and institutions. The state exists because you have for the last 6,000 years been dominated by religious ideology that is set for the sole purpose to exploit your life, to drown out, to slurp up every ounce of blood they can and leave you just enough to exist, to work. Just enough to exist, to work, but not enough to think clearly, not enough to plot and plan, not enough to strategize, not enough to envision your future without an owner, your future without a boss, your future without institutions of warfare that use you up, that literally ground you up in the machine like fucking ground beef. You feel me? You feel me? I hope you feel me. Because the Constitution was given birth to by the Bible. The Constitution was given birth to by the Bible. All of this beautiful language and this beautiful talk, and y'all hold the Bible. Hold on, let me pull out my King James version on y'all real quick. You understand? Y'all carry this rotten motherfucker around under your arm. You see little cute ass church ladies spending a whole day, baby, knocking on people's door, trying to tell them about the good news of the Lord. News that ain't changed in 2,000 motherfucking years. Ain't never been good. Don't look good. Ain't shit look good on earth for the last 2,000 years. These old ladies still carrying their little Bible around and their little Sunday best, you feel me? Knocking on doors. Like they ain't got something else to do in the world. Like there ain't some happiness they can go get. But this is all the news you need. This is all the happiness you need. This is all the love you need. When all else fails, you feel me? When all else fails, you still got hope in the Lord. You still got hope in the Lord. Because God got you. The more you suffer in this life, the greater your mansion is going to be in heaven. And carry this thing around. You feel me? Ain't read another book since they graduated high school, other than the King James Version Bible carried under their titty every day, every Saturday when they go out soul winning. You feel me? This monstrous creation, this horrible plagiarism of the mother's prophecy. You understand? And the reason I'm going hard on the KJV is because in the name of the KJV, white people who themselves have been brutalized by the KJV, or by any version of it for that matter, white people who have for 500 years been brutalized by this wicked construction, have been conditioned by this wicked construction, had seen their women and their children and their men brutalized, friends, family, and loved one brutalized for 500 years, intestines pulled out their abdomen, tortured by all kinds of monstrous creations. You feel me? All the things dropped in water, left outside for animals to eat. Every terrible way that you could possibly imagine dying, they witnessed for 500 years with the approval of this here baptism in blood. Them same people who for 500 years saw their people brutalized, terrorized by this motherfucker right here, set out on the water by this motherfucker right here, to go across the water and discover new worlds by this motherfucker right here, and took this same motherfucker that terrorized them for 500 years and then turned right around and spread that same terror imposed on them and extended it out to other like tentacles across the world. This is what they did that with. If we were to take an account, I told you there was a little brother, I don't remember the name of his TikTok, I don't remember the brother name, this was some time ago, and he was trying to get an adequate calculation of how many people have died collectively in all the wars of just the last 200 years. He said, we just gonna work with 200 of all the wars in the last 200 years, people who died directly as a consequence of warfare only. If we get an accurate account based on the numbers available of how many people died in wars in the last 200 years, 44 million human beings. This is what did that. This what did that. 250,000 men, willing and unwilling, died to give birth to the United States of America in the American Revolutionary War. 250,000 men died. This was the baptism. This was the blood offering. Instead of it being Abraham with a motherfucking lamb on the mountain and shit, it was 250,000 voiceless, no options, no alternatives, men thrown into a war to consecrate this filthy, rotten bitch called America that y'all swear y'all got some rights in. Y'all swear y'all sovereign citizens in. Y'all swear y'all live in a democracy, and then acting all bewildered, dismayed, confused. Y'all warring red and blue with each other about the results of what happened in this fallacy called democracy on last Tuesday. And the red and blue is not the issue. It is that you are the bargaining chips. If this is chess, bitch, this book right here is chess. You feel me? And on one side, you got the blue side. And on the other side, you got the blue side. You feel, the blue side and the red side. You feel me? And on the red side, you got what? A king and a queen and a knight. You feel me? And they all safe in the back. This means they up in the castle. You feel me? They doing their thing. They eating lavish food and they drinking wine. They chilling. They know they can chill because what? They got all these pawns. What? 2 rows of pawns in front of them that they can just use. Send them out. Send them out. Send them out. They get used up. Let's get some more. Send them out. Send them out. Send them out. This is the red and the blue side. No matter what's going on between the pawns, they warring, they beefing. We for the blue. We for the red. It's justice. It's whatever bullshit that came from up on high about what they need to believe to get them invigorated to beef among each other. Don't none of them make no money. Don't none of them make the value of their labor. They literally fight for food and fight for housing. They fighting for food and fighting for housing. The pawns, the little people, the expendable, the cannon fodder, the slaves, the workers. Y'all the pawns. Y'all over here for the last week beefing and lamenting about the red and the blue and how could we be betrayed? Because y'all gonna say something controversial and I'm probably gonna hurt everybody's feelings up on here. Y'all probably all gonna ghost me on this shit. But at the end of the day, there was one more same thing I wanted to say about this week. But at the end of the day, whether you voted for Kamala or whether you voted for goddamn Trump, bitch, you voted for the state. You voted for the state. You chose your owners. You chose the color of your owners. You chose and I'm talking about the red and blue. You chose the colors of your owners. You chose the wealth of your owners. You gave consent to your owners to continue to rob you blind. That's what you did. That's the only thing that you did. That's the only thing that you did last week, love. Is you again and again and again show commitment to the idea. You show commitment to the idea presented to you as democracy, that the vote in your mind represents democracy. That is not democracy. Every fucking thing that everybody in the world points to as evidence of America being the greatest country on earth because of its democratic process and its non-violent, voting process. Baby, you made America. You made America. You fought to make real this idea that these white men said did not apply to you. That's what you did. You fought like hell. You fought in every war. You showed up to every vote. You did all the right things laid out before you to force, to impose. Baby, that's what you did. You imposed democracy on America. America, it was an unwilling participant in the process. America was an unwilling, oh my God, damn, I knew hold on a second. America was unwilling. Hold on, I had an appointment and I totally forgot. I didn't sit here and did this. Hold on. Damn. I knew I was forgetting something trifling. I got too much going on. Damn. All right, let's see if I fucked that up. Hopefully I didn't. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I know I seem like I'm raging and I'm on a diatribe, but I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help win something for y'all. I was just sitting here watching this dude. I can't remember his name. I'm bad for it, but this guy he's here in LA and he does this commentary. All of his commentary is political commentary. He's like a comedian, but he's also a serious, like political analyst, and all of his commentary is taught in a way that, is easy to digest. Those hard conversations that you don't want to have, he makes them palatable through humor. And he did this piece a few days ago. As a matter of fact, a couple of days after I did the one on billionaires, he did one on billionaires and how a billionaire, a foreign-born person from South Africa who came to the United States as an illegal immigrant, just spent $75 million to get Trump into office using his purchase of a media outlet. You feel me? And he used his influence as a billionaire to win himself a position on the U.S. cabinet, on Trump's cabinet, and to secure himself some government contracts once Trump got elected. And he didn't even have to hide it, because y'all glorify billionaires as motherfucking rock stars or some shit first. Y'all still treat billionaires like they rock stars or some shit. Like it's the genius of their brain that makes them billionaires. I ain't seen a smart billionaire yet. I ain't seen one. I listen to the way they talk. I'm like, damn, these dudes is morons. These dudes is stupid. Have you heard Elon Musk talk? The dude, there's something wrong with him. There's something wrong with his brain. And as it comes out, and even when you saw him on the trail with Trump, I'm like, this dude, there is some screws loose. This is not genius. This is mediocrity personified. This is a child with money. This is a child with money. And I done seen children smarter than this dude. You feel me? But y'all still glorify billionaires like rock stars and shit. Like it ain't your money. It ain't you. It ain't what you earn. It ain't what you created. It ain't your hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears that done generated them billions, that they done robbed your ass in real time. They done robbed your ass in broad daylight, and you championing them like it's something inherently weak in you that don't make you a billionaire. That if you too just listen to the economic advice of Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, then you too might be able to be a billionaire someday. Child, this shit is sickening. But anyway, I done seen people with Asperger's that were more brilliant, that were more articulate, that were not as evil. I ain't talking this motherfucker evil. That's what I'm talking about. Because he might be on the spectrum. That ain't no shit I'm paying attention to. Because for him to be on the spectrum does not mean that he is inherently flawed and don't know right from wrong. This bitch is evil. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that I know children with y'all kill me with the comments. Steve Miller is the same, arrested in his development. The idea of Elon Musk as a genius was imposed on us by Hollywood. Absolutely. Not even. I wish we could move on from this illusion. Okay. I rewatched Iron Man and saw that they fed Elon to us by paralleling him to Tony Stark, bloated up by military contracts, just like, whoo, Dom. I love that. She said, I rewatched Iron Man and saw that they fed Elon to us by paralleling him to Tony Stark, bloated up by military contracts, just like Disney. God damn. I always hated Tony Stark, though. Tony Stark, Batman. We've always been fed this hero syndrome, this rock star syndrome for the opulently wealthy. That somehow they can be opulently wealthy and benevolent at the same time. It's an impossibility. That they are the heroes that are there to save us all. What was the episode of The Avengers where the girl, the Scarlet Witch, and her brother were like, we clear about who gotta go. That is Tony Stark that destroyed our village. It's Tony Stark that killed all our people, and even the damn supposedly bad guy robot that came up. I don't have to rewatch it, but what was his name? What was the bad guy robot name? I love that motherfucker. I told y'all I always root for the antagonist. I always root for the bad guy. Tony Stark was a narcissist, a pig, a misogynist, like all things bad, and he's just forgiven because he's where our loot comes from. If we need research, you feel me? If we need anything, he where the money come from, so we gotta big him up. I appreciate that, Dom. I'm gonna have to rewatch Iron Man because I knew I hated Tony Stark. I've always hated Batman. In every single Batman movie, I've always rooted for the bad guy. Even Danny DeVito, when he was the little mutant penguin thing, I was like, all the bad guys, y'all just come on through and end this motherfucker already and redistribute that loot. You understand? Anyway, so this guy, don't distract me too hard in these comments. This guy that I was telling you about, the comedian that was talking about the problem with billionaires, and his target for the last 3-4 weeks has been Elon Musk, and how Elon Musk, because he said in the beginning he didn't think that Elon Musk's strategy was going to work. All this money that he was throwing into the Trump's campaign, but he was like, no, because he believed the hype too. This is democracy. America's made for everybody, and you can't just buy elections, and you can't just buy influence in elections. And he was like, I believe the hype too. He said, but let me tell you what just happened. What just happened to us? He said, let me just tell you, a billionaire with his billionaire buddy, and I'm talking about Trump, a billionaire with his billionaire buddy, Elon, funneling $75 million into this man's campaign. The only reason that he bought Twitter was to use X exactly how he did, to shape ideas, to influence outcome. That's exactly what he did. And we allowed him to do that because he's just a guy who makes great cars or whatever, right? So he goes through, and in this particular piece that he did last week about billionaires, he was talking about how he was talking about the same thing I was talking about 2 days before. Where do billionaires come from? How is it possible for billionaires to exist in America? And he starts with the Gilded Age. He starts his piece with a historical retrospective of the Gilded Age and the working conditions for working people from the Gilded Age through to today. Ultron, thank you so much, Miscellaneous AB. Where you been? I ain't seen you on here in a long time. Where you been? I know people be dropping off because like people be like that last live she did, she was with that bullshit. People be dropping off. People be dropping off like flies, y'all. I be hurting feelings. Don't you take so long to be around here no more, Miscellaneous AB. Ultron. That's what his name. I'm telling Golden Amethyst 999. Thank you. Don't let me forget where I was because I have to finish this story about the Gilded Age. But Golden Amethyst 999, come on in to tell the truth, please. She said Elon Musk has been telling us he had Asperger's. Elon Musk telling us that he had Asperger's. Oh, Miscellaneous AB, where you going? Why you leave like that? Don't do that. Don't retract the message. Anyway, Elon Musk telling us that he had Asperger's was to soften us up, to him and his evil. Aren't we seeing that? Aren't we seeing that a lot? Y'all have a word for it. What is it? Y'all have a word for that. She said Elon's been telling us he has Asperger's to soften us up to him and his evil. Y'all have a word for that in your personal relationships. Y'all call it weaponized incompetence. Isn't that what y'all call it? Weaponized incompetence. There's whole videos of you young women talking about how people who may be on the spectrum, but the thing is that them being on the spectrum is not the reason for their fucking malignant and bad behavior, but they use their diagnosis as being on the spectrum to excuse fucked up behavior. So I saw this video of this woman. I didn't want to be talking about this long, but I saw this video of this woman and she was talking about how, she complained to her husband who supposedly was on the spectrum. And she complained to her husband, like, why don't you ever want to take pictures with me? We're married, and you don't ever want to take pictures with me. And he kept gaslighting the fuck out of her, telling her, well, I'm sick. I have, I'm on the spectrum. It's my autism. I'm not comfortable taking pictures. But she said every time she would go on his Facebook page, there would be pictures with him smiling and cheesing and shit with people on his job. Just chilling, just hanging. And she's like, the way she started the video was like, I think my husband hates me. All this time. She said, all this time, I believed him. I really thought that the reason he wasn't comfortable taking pictures with me, or he didn't want, he would hold my hand in public or anything like that, was because, he's neurodivergent and, he's on the spectrum and this is what was wrong. And she said, no, I think my husband hates me. He has a multiplicity of things. And that's the thing, is these nasty people, these nasty type people who will use, what's his name? The famous boy did that. What do they call it? They have a name for it now, where these low-key narcissists will use medical language or psychological language to as weapons. They'll use that shit to gaslight women. They'll use that shit to manipulate women. And so she was like, no, he hates me, and he's using weaponized incompetence and then doing something even more sinister and evil, which is to use his diagnosis to justify and disseminate his hatred towards me. And so she in here confused because she really think, she's got to support her husband. How you live in a house with somebody who cooking for you, cooking all your meals, doing all the things for you, and you got the nerve to be cheesing in pictures with your, you know, with your work wife, and then come home and use your diagnosis, your mental diagnosis, to shit on your home wife, to shit on your real wife. Yes, Mary goes in about the history. Not only Mary Daly, but Barbara Moore in The Great Cosmic Mother. There's a whole chapter on the wicked history of the field of psychology as given birth to as an aggression against women, given birth to as a way to continue the onslaught of violence against women that spilled over from the Inquisition. It spilled over into the new bourgeoning sciences and medical practices in Europe. So did. I have Asperger's. It just causes very many awkward and gash interactions. But I have self-awareness, and I am aware when I'm being an asshole. Hey, thank you, God. Thank you, Samara. Because they'll use everything as a weapon. Now, let me get back to this damn video I was telling y'all about. Okay. So the guy was talking about the Gilded Age. And he was talking about the Gilded Age being defined, again, by what? This extreme chasm between wealth and poverty. There was no middle class in the Gilded Age. He was talking about the extreme canyon between the opulently wealthy and the extraordinarily poor. And he was talking about the history of workers' rights in the United States of America, that during the Gilded Age, all the way up until the 1920s, it was not uncommon to see the same things that have been imposed by America, I tell you, imposed in other countries, especially in Asia and in Africa, to see little kids, 5, 6, 10 years old, working in factories, working in mines, working alongside their parents, just for them all to accumulate enough money to keep them fed and keep them housed, and that's it. And so he was talking about the different periods and the different manifestations of like workers' rights movements in the United States. And of course, he being a white guy from some Midwest white place, of course, the focus of his piece was going to be white workers. That's okay. Because sometimes we need to be reminded, white people too, need to be reminded that they too, the government, the state, the opulently wealthy don't give a fuck about them either. They don't mind giving them a few more pittance to prop them up over the rest of us, but they don't give a fuck about y'all neither. The evidence of which is when they were talking about the first workers' strikes, and how workers' strikes weren't legal. And so the bosses and the owners of these workers, because that was what the relationship was. These bosses and these owners of the workers could call the police on workers that refused to work. And he had a whole list of worker strikes throughout these periods. The Gilded Age was around the same time as the Industrial Revolution, so late 1800s up through the early 1900s. So you're talking about 50, 60, 70 years, so about 50 years of worker strikes to try to build the first unions and get some workers' rights and better pay and this, that, and better working conditions. And he went down first a whole list of factories in the Northeast that, because of poor working conditions, people died in these factories, like the shirtwaist fire factories, where all of these, what was it, like 400 women? It was just women and girls that worked in the factory. Like 400 women died in the factory because the factory conditions, and you hear about this kind of shit in Asia a lot, where people are made to work 14, 16-hour work days. They can't even take bathroom breaks when they want to. And then the owners of the factories will lock the factory doors from the outside so people can't leave until their shift is over. And so this was a fire that happened in the Northeast somewhere called the infamous shirtwaist fires. And all of the people that died in the fires were women and girls, little girls who were working in the goddamn factory. And he just listed all of these factory deaths that happened because of extremely insane working conditions, so on and so forth. Then beside that, he listed all the history of the biggest worker strikes and the response from the bosses / owners were would call the state, would call the police, and the police would come out with guns blazing, killing striking workers. Like we just had a writer's strike a couple of years ago here in LA. Everywhere, on every street you could turn on, everywhere in LA, everywhere in Hollywood, there was hundreds of people, writers and actors striking out here every day. They was on that shit every day. The state did try to weaponize their power against the strikers. There were people on the city council who, there was this one main area of like the district where all of the warehouses are, where they set up the props, the sets and stuff like that. I forget, it's not far from here, where like Warner Brothers studios are and ABC and all of that shit. Is a long strip of all the big giant studios where they do the primary filming, and the strikers were out there in the hundreds. And this NPR station was talking about how they were using the environment to weaponize against the strikers. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Using the environment to weaponize against the strikers. So all along that strip were these beautiful, beautiful, huge old palm trees, just all overhead. And so in response, because it's the summertime when they were striking in fucking California, it was hot as hellfire out here. And what they did was the city council approved cutting down all of the palm trees along the path that the strikers had been using as shade cover for these long hours that they would spend outside protest. Instead of paying the people what the motherfucking hell they earned and they deserve, the city gonna spend the goddamn money, millions of dollars, sending people out to literally dig the goddamn palm trees up from the root along the route where the strikers had been marching every day, so that they couldn't have the shade overhead. That happened in LA. That happened. What they called it, using the environment as a weapon. I was like, this shit, that's exactly, that's crazy. Exactly, that's insane, right? And so, so this is a mild example of what had been happening all the way up to the 50s in the United States, trying to get basic worker rights, the worker rights that we, quote, enjoy. But this guy was talking about how the union, the formation of the union that the bourgeoisie was opposed to. The bourgeoisie was using military. The bourgeoisie was using the police to murder strikers, worker strikes, to murder people who were striking during these periods. They would send, because it was illegal to strike at your job. And so they would send the police, and the police would kill people. Pew, 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 pew. And then he has listed all of the worker strikes on this guy's video. I'm gonna have to show him, find the video and put the link in the thing down here. But the strikes, he showed all the strikes and how many workers were murdered at each strike by the police or by the army, the U.S. military sent out by the bourgeoisie to kill strikers, to kill like coal mine strikers, to kill like people who didn't want to work at textile factories under obscene working conditions, especially after the shirtwaist fire. And it was so many young babies, little girls and women that died at the shirtwaist fires. They were saying that worker strikes started popping up all over the Northeast in response to these terrible conditions that killed all these. It was like 400 people that died in the shirtwaist factories. You understand what I'm saying? And so we forget, we don't know our history, so we forget. And something like what happened on Tuesday can happen, where you put a billionaire child. I be goddamn. Here we is again at the turn of the goddamn century, 100 years from the Gilded Age. And instead of us all, white, black, brown, and yellow, knowing who the enemy is, they could see clearly. White, black, brown, yellow, red. We all knew who the enemy was. The enemy was the millionaires of the Gilded Age, the opulently wealthy, exploiting our labor. And everybody, black, white, brown, yellow, and red, got together in some of those, and in some of those strikes, and said, okay, our only hope is to band together. That none of us going to work. None of us going to work. As a matter of fact, if we do go to work, they show pictures of people going to work, taking books, just sitting around at the machines all day, just reading books. They were striking on the job, right? And all of that to say, when this guy talked about how it was not the benevolence of an FDR or a Lyndon B. Johnson, you feel me, that just bestowed, you feel me, the union upon us as a part of the democratic promise of the United States of America. He showed very clear like graphs and lines about the correlation of the beginnings of the worker strikes, and how the worker strikes was what led to the formation of unions. And it was not until unions became a regular part of American life that you had the growing of the American middle class. The American middle class was grown the same way everything else that looks like democracy was grown. The middle class was grown out of blood, sweat, tears, and loss of life, out of the fight like hell for poor people from every race, fighting like hell to demand their fair share of what they knew they were producing. They fought like hell to demand their fair share of what they were producing. The middle class was grown out of struggle, out of fight. You understand? And that shit was deep, because he talked about how ever since Ronald Reagan's administration, every president since Ronald Reagan has been low-key and insidiously and behind closed doors, chipping away through propaganda, through lobbying, chipping away at the unions. And in this chipping away of the unions, what happens is you create, when you dismantle the union power, you create fear, you create scared, fearful workers, because now they are individual workers. They don't have no support. They don't have representation. They don't have the collective power that unions provided to make sure that they are being fairly compensated, taken care of, healthcare, and all of that shit. And so they chipped away at the union. And he showed the correlation between the disappearance of the unions and the widening of the wealth gap. The widening of the wealth gap correlating with the dispelling, with the destruction of the unions. Remember, I talked last week about how United States worker production is actually at an all-time high. So all this bullshit you hear about how people just don't want to work, people don't appreciate the value of a hard day's work and all that bullshit, that is propaganda. Americans are working harder now than they ever have in their life. They producing more, and we don't work in factories no more, so you can't see like the physical material evidence of our production, but we are still working more. We are still working more hours. We are still producing wealth for America. And even though worker production is at an all-time high in the United States, I was showing you how the rate of pay was not growing at all in conjunction with the worker productivity. This is where billionaires come from. This massive gap here is where billionaires come from. And so he was just making it a lot more clear about what do we have working for us in the United States that forces, that imposes the democratic process. And the vote is, hopefully it's obvious to you now, that democracy as the vote is not what creates democracy in America. That's how I got on all that. The vote is not what creates democracy. It's not what has ever created what appears to be democracy in the United States of America. It is your fight. It is your throwdown. It is your resistance. It is your fuck that 10,000 of us ain't going to work. Now what you gonna do? Fuck that 100,000 of us ain't gonna go to work. Now fucking pay us. You know what I'm saying? It's worker strikes. It's straight up rebellions. That is what has eked out anything that appears to be democratic progress in the United States. But make no mistake, America is a godhead. America has lulled you to sleep with lullabies about America the beautiful, land of the free, home of the brave. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. The American Constitution and the Bill of Rights tells us it is that and such and such. The Declaration of Independence says we got a right to fight back. But y'all forget that they told you in plain English and in plain sight, niggas, this is not for you. We ain't talking about y'all when we wrote this shit. We ain't talking about natives when we wrote this shit. We ain't talking about Asians when we wrote this shit. We wasn't really even talking about the Irish when we wrote this shit. But you know, because we need numbers, we'll let y'all people who got white skin come on over here with us. You feel me? If y'all can get rich, you feel me? If y'all can help us quail this shit. We weren't talking about you Mexicans when we wrote this shit. That still applies. The fuck is wrong with y'all? That shit still applies. The evidence that it still applies is the 50 white faces planted upon your state when you look at this map of who the richest poor people are in each state. There are 813 motherfucking billionaires in the United States of America, more than any other country. Next to them is China with 200 and something billionaires. 813 billionaires in the United States of America, and y'all really think they earned that. They just worked hard and they cracked the code and they just made the billions. 660 new billionaires in 2 years in the United States. Y'all think they just came up with the great, right, brilliant idea and they launched it first and they made their billions. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to tell you. You feel me? This shit is crazy. Billionaires are everything wrong with you. Everything identifiably wrong with your life is because you have been robbed blind by somebody that is a billionaire. There are 813 billionaires in the United States of America. In the one city I live in. There are 53 billionaires in Los Angeles. 53. There are 68 billionaires in San Francisco. More billionaires in San Francisco than any other city on earth. 68 billionaires. And you don't think that is connected to why the black people in San Francisco has disappeared over the last 30 years? The black population went from 17% in San Francisco in the early 1990s to today, 2% of people in San Francisco are black. Where you think they went? Their wealth was stolen. Gentrification. Their land was stolen. Their homes were stolen. They were priced out. Gentrification is broad daylight robbery. Eminent domain, robbery. Blind-sided robbery. Legalized to ensure the creation of fucking billionaires. I can tell you, I can go down the list of the ways that we have been robbed, and this is directly what is responsible for the growth of 660 billionaires in 2 years. You are being robbed blind. Everything wrong with your life is directly connected to a billionaire. I don't give a fuck. Can't nobody convince me of nothing different. Forbes magazine said, this was 6 or 7 years ago, Forbes magazine said that if every full-time mom, and that's every mom, even if she got to go to a job, every mom is a full-time mom, that if every full-time mom was getting paid the value of her labor based upon the duties that she has in her home, from laundry to preparation of meals to shopping for food to paying bills and or organizing, finances. And if every mom was being paid also time off, vacation, sick time, the way any other worker would be making. I think they said the average mom, which is based on the birth rate, the average mom, if she had 2.1 children and was making what she should be making based on the skills and duties that she was doing, she would be making $148,000 a year. And this article was written 6 or 7 years ago. $148,000 a year. So I'm doing the calculation, motherfucker. My daughter is 30, almost 30 years old. My baby 28, 29. You feel me? Calculations. Then I had somebody else 2 babies for 4 years. Calculate my stepchildren. Calculation. Then 2 of my friends let their babies stay with me while they was going through a hard time. Calculation. I want my back pay. So y'all saying, and I can accept it if it's that amount, that equivalent against inflation in that period when I raised my children. My daughter was born in 1996. You feel me? $148,000 a year times 28 years. I need my motherfucking back pay. I need my back pay. We out here squabbling over some bullshit ass child support of $200 a month and shit. If y'all men don't want to pay child support, force the state to pay your baby mama what she should have been getting paid in the first place. I need my $148,000 a year ever since and if, like the government saying, life starts at conception. That's why abortion is wrong. And we really just about the babies. Life starts at conception. Okay, Mr. Government Man, if life starts at conception, I need to be receiving my $148,000 at the moment that I am made aware that I am pregnant. I need to know if I get pregnant and they tell me, oh, you 3 weeks along, I need to be able to go to a government office and say, okay, Mr. Government Man, who love and is so concerned about the life of babies so much. You feel me? Because they recognize that this life of the baby is a potential investment that they can begin to exploit on in the workplace. You feel me? In the meantime, Mr. Government Man at the government office, you feel me? I'm pregnant. And so I need to be knowing when my first check is gonna come. I need Tazzy Sky's the Limit. It's on my YouTube channel. It's gonna be I'm simulcasting. So it'll be on my YouTube channel. For those of you tuning in from IG, my YouTube channel is at DaughterOfTheFates, FATES. But I'm gonna need my motherfucking money. I need somebody to crunch them numbers. You feel me? Right now. Because my phone is occupied. How much money should I have been making? And I won't even be greedy. I'll just say, you know what they say? 7 years ago, it was $148,000. I'll keep it breezy. I'll keep it easy. From 1996 to today, if y'all was paying me $100,000 a year for this investment that y'all know y'all was gonna bank off of, which is a human commodity that is going to go onto the marketplace and generate wealth for somebody the fuck else, and that I, as the procurer, not only the procurer, the generator of this commodity, I created this commodity out of my own motherfucking body. You feel me? And I have to secure the safety of this commodity. That is an investment that is being bargained on the motherfucking stock market. And I am the one charged with the responsibility to make sure that this commodity, that this investment is secure. You feel me? I need to make sure it gets some love so it'll be halfway functional. You feel me? Get some food, get proper food and nutrition, get some good education so that it has the intellect in order to be able to do what it need to do on the goddamn market, in the marketplace. I'll take $100,000 a year. I'll do that. I'll keep it easy on y'all. I won't keep the math complicated. $100,000 a year since 1996, bitch. What is that? And it's 2024. That's 28 years. So y'all owe me $2,800,000 $2,800,000. Y'all owe me $2,800,000. Now, if every woman who had created a wealth producing entity from her body for the state had been getting paid, even if she was only getting paid minimum wage for this full-time occupation, would there be a billionaire? Would there be a billionaire if women, since the beginning of the creation of this bitch, okay, since 1990, since 1900, have been getting paid just minimum wage for every child potential investment that they gave birth to, every wealth producer that they created out of their body, they've been getting paid a minimum wage from the government to secure and protect and nurture and make sure that this was going to be a viable resource in the marketplace. Would there be a billionaire? I just told you, I'm just one person. And if I was getting paid $100,000 a year for the one person that I gave birth to out my body, don't even count the years that I had my stepchildren and my godchildren. Don't even count them. The one person that I generated and created out of my body, and I was getting paid what Forbes says is a viable expectation from women in this country based on what we do to secure these children. Would there be a billionaire? I just told you that for my life, I should already have $2,800,000 for the one child I gave birth to. That ain't including the fact that my mama had 2, that my grandmama had 9, who are all successful producers on the market. My grandmama had 9 motherfucking kids who have produced a gross amount of wealth for the state. Even as they struggled, even as they mom and them struggled. Would there be a billionaire? I'm telling you, we've been robbed in broad daylight. That's all I'm trying to communicate to you. And it ain't complicated to see the robbery. We thinking taxes and shit. No, that's another type of robbery. I'm talking about the fact that we are literally, our bodies have been turned into machines for the production of wealth for someone else. Not only do we not get paid for the producing of this wealth, but we have to pay to secure this wealth. These motherfuckers don't even have to pay us to secure this wealth that they know they're going to get from this baby that we have produced. We have to now go out and get a job to secure the wealth investment that's not going to benefit us. Our kids don't pay us. Our kids don't pay us back for what we put into them, then they shouldn't have to. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, as soon as our kids leave the house, that wealth that they produce benefits somebody else. So we just spend our whole life paying to secure our kids, going to jobs, paying taxes, doing all the things to have enough money to afford to have kids. When them kids leave the house, they are going to be exploited on the market just like we were. And that wealth is going to go to somebody else. Would there be a billionaire? Would there be a billionaire? That's why billionaires exist, because they have mastered the art of figuring out every single possible way to rob you blind so that you just have enough to exist. You just have enough, not to thrive, just to exist. This is an assembly line. Motherhood is an assembly line. Motherhood is that scene in the Matrix where Neo wakes up out of that black metallic uterus and looks around after the uterus opens and them goddamn umbilical cords pop the fuck off of him everywhere. And he looks around and all he sees is what? Black, brown, red, yellow people, all in a sea, in a whole field of black metal uteruses. Black metal uteruses. That's all he sees for miles and miles and miles around. What is the significance of that scene? That the black primordial one, the mitochondrial Eve in sub-Saharan Africa, is the mother to us all. That's why he could see black, brown, red, yellow people in these black metal uteruses. Y'all all are the descendants of the first, of the black primordial she, who has been demoted from God status to a fucking machine whose only function in the world. Them uteruses didn't have no bodies attached to them. Them uteruses didn't have no bodies attached to them. A sea of black metal uteruses. Faceless, nameless, soulless, unimportant. The only thing about you, bitch, that's important is the fact that this thing that you got in your body can generate something out of nothing. And what we gonna do? We gonna mechanize that shit for our own wealth, for our own life. The Matrix, y'all got the Matrix wrong. The Matrix wasn't about Neo, who is Jesus, or Morpheus, who is God the Father, or Trinity, whose name is inherent in who she is. The Matrix was about the demotion of the black goddess, your mother, all of our mothers, the black primordial she, who gave rise to every race that is, to every person that is. You understand? And to turn her from God into a machine. And the only thing that she can do is generate wealth for someone else. Y'all can see it clearly. These vegans be seeing it clearly. We're so opposed. These animal rights activists that are vegans, the radical ones, we are opposed to the mechanization of cows and pigs for human consumption. That's what they say, that cows and pigs, biological life, have been turned into machines for human consumption. But they cannot say that shit about women. They cannot say that shit about our uteruses. You have some bullshit and ass discussion about whether you have the right or don't have the right to have an abortion. That is not the motherfucking discussion that we have to be having. That ain't it. Women have to be demanding complete and total sovereignty, autonomy over our entire existence, demanding to be paid in full, demanding to be paid in full for that which we produce for the group. What is it that we produce for the group? Humans. What is it all these billionaires is lamenting over? The babies. Why women don't want to have babies no more? Because y'all can't romance us into some motherfucking bullshit. Romance us into fucking slavery. Romance us into unpaid labor. Romance us, not only unpaid labor, but then gonna have the nerve to turn around and act incompetent, to act like you hate us, to not even want to take a picture with a bitch. You feel me? To act like somehow our body is malignant after we done generated this wealth for you. Oh no. That ain't the discussion. Is not about whether or not to be able to have an abortion. The struggle for women is, bitch, we are half the human more than half the human population, and we demand our spot on the motherfucking block. We demand our spot in every place of government. We demand our spot in from the highest to the lowest. Every spot in government, every spot in business. Everywhere we demand our fair share, because we are the ones that generate all the wealth that exists up in this bitch. There wouldn't be a worker on earth if there wasn't a woman with a uterus attached to that worker. If there wasn't a uterus attached to that worker, meaning his ass got a mama, her ass got a mama. If there wasn't a uterus tied to that worker, couldn't be no wage slavery. Couldn't be no slavery. Couldn't be no working class. Couldn't be no middle class. Couldn't be no President Trump. Women have to be making greater demands than, bitch, just please let us have abortions. That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit. If women, put it like this, if I had been getting paid $100,000 a year for the first child that I had, I might have been inclined to keep the second two pregnancies that I had. I might have been inclined to keep the second two pregnancies that I had, because the $100,000 a year that I would have been receiving for the one child that I gave birth to would have given me the economic freedom to adequately care for the two children that I had, the two pregnancies that I had to end. You want to solve an abortion problem? Pay motherfucking women the value of their labor. And that means even if they have to stay home and full time take care of their children. Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. We are always letting somebody else set the agenda. That's not the agenda, to have or not to have abortions. That's not the agenda. The agenda is full goddamn autonomy, control over our life, control over our body, control over our reproduction. And that means you motherfuckers owe us. You owe us. Y'all owe us. You want to talk about a reparations movement? You want to talk about a reparations movement? Bitch, y'all owe us. Y'all owe us. And I'm coming. And I said I would be easy on you. I won't even take the 148,000. I'll just keep it simple. So the math is simple. Give me $100,000. $100,000 a year since 1996 for the one child that came out of my body, who is now producing on the market in the labor force wealth for you. I'm coming for my motherfucking $2.8 million. I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that. Now, if I want to be a bitch about it, which I probably will want to be a bitch about it, not only my $148,000 a year, but I am due for I'm overdue actually. Let's see, 2 weeks, a year. Let's just say I'll just be nice, because ideally I want to take 2 weeks every quarter as a vacation. That's just me. But say I'll be easy, and I'll just say, y'all not only owe me my $148,000 a year, you feel me? But I also I need my back vacation, my paid vacation, you feel me? So say I just take 2 weeks a year since 1996 when I had my child, you feel me? 2 weeks paid vacation a year. So I'm due. Somebody do the math for me real quick. How much is 2 times 28? That's 56. So I need a whole year paid vacation to make up for my back vacation time that I didn't get and didn't get paid for. So I'm gonna need 56 weeks. If my math is that's right, I'm gonna need 56 weeks. I'm gonna need a year off, a year and 4 weeks off, and I'm gonna need that year and 4 weeks off paid. You feel me? So I can globe trot for a year before coming back and being, a functional member of society doing the work that I do. I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that. The reparations movement has to include the fact that ever since, especially Black women, was let off the motherfucking plantations from working for free, that we came into the job market. We came into the market. We came into what you call it, sharecropping and housekeeping for white people and all of this bullshit and ass bullshit, and hadn't been getting paid for motherhood. So we had to go and work for white women and take care of their babies. We had to continue sharecropping and shit. So especially for us, you understand? Native women, Black women, Mexican women, forced to do domestic work, clean the fuck up after white people and shit. No, we need a women's reparations movement. Yes, we do. Because we ain't asking y'all for shit. These motherfucking 813 billionaires, them motherfuckers got our money. Them motherfuckers got our money. Them motherfuckers got our money. These 2,718 billionaires on earth, these motherfuckers got our money. Y'all bitch up. Y'all bitches up. Y'all bitches up. Hazard pay, come on in the room. Where's my retirement fund? You feel me? Hold on. Sick time, sick leave. You feel me? What about my what they do for the British? They get 2 years maternity leave paid. And then after the mama go back to work, they get a year paternity leave. The homie, the boy, the man get to stay home with the baby. So he too can bond with his baby. I'ma need that. I didn't have no paternity. I ain't had no paid paternity leave. I mean maternity leave. I'm gonna need that too. I'm gonna need my 2 years of paid maternity leave. Y'all owe, and stop letting these motherfuckers talk circles around you and make the simple complicated. They make the simple complicated to keep you off point, to keep you from knowing the myriad of ways that they done robbed your ass blind. Don't let these motherfuckers complicate shit for you that's simple. Y'all owe. That's the bottom line. That if we had been getting paid all along the value of our labor and the value of the contributions that we are giving to society in the form of human beings that are going to be able to sell their labor on the market, there wouldn't be a billionaire in this country. There wouldn't be a billionaire on earth. Unhand our motherfucking shit. Unhand our shit. Anyway, now I got to go and be productive out in society because I'm owed $2.8 million that I ain't got. So anyway, my name is Cassandra-Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates. Those of you who are on IG, join me over on YouTube. My YouTube channel is at DaughterOfTheFates, FATES. If you need a reading, today is the full moon. So get your rituals up, get your life right. You feel me? I meant to talk about the moon today. You feel me? I meant to talk about Megan Thee Stallion because I just saw that damn documentary that had me all manner of in my feelings. You feel me? But this was a good discussion. So we'll carry on. I got some tasks to do today, some people to treat today. So I may do a live later on tonight. But in the meantime, if you want to book a reading today, if you want to book a reading tomorrow, if you want to book a reading Sunday, or Sunday, because I can't do readings on Monday. But this whole week coming up is magnanimous. Today, obviously, is the full moon, but November 19th is so huge. I cannot express it in enough ways. It is a power up point. It is the thing that we have been waiting 2 years for. 2 years that we have been waiting for the reunion of Oya and Sango, for the reunion of Pluto in Aquarius. This is like the psh at the starting line. This is it. This November 19th, 5 days, is huge. Get your mind right. Do not let nobody reel you into no bullshit discussion about the woe is me and the dismay and all of this thing. Feel me? We need to be focusing on everything I talked about, being clear about where our wealth is coming from. When I was speaking to these women last night about this ceremony, this ritual that we're going to do up on the mountains up here in Los Angeles on Tuesday night. If you want to find out about this ritual, email me at EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. That's EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. This ritual, this ceremony that we're going to do on November 19th, I was talking to the sisters last night, and I was saying, not because, people on the full moon will be doing their abundance checks, and they'll be writing their thank you checks to the universe and burning their check in the moonlight for their abundance to come to them. I ain't with that shit. If you are making manifestations for abundance, if you making wishes for abundance, saying prayers for abundance, doing your mantras for abundance, writing your abundance checks at the full moon, you feel me? If you are doing that and it is not partnered with identifying who robbed you, where your wealth has gone, because your abundance already exists. I just told y'all I'm a millionaire already. I'm a millionaire off labor that I actually provided, off labor I actually produced, not robbing somebody, not oppressing somebody, not exploiting somebody. I'm a millionaire already. Now it is time for us to identify where our wealth has gone. So when we do our abundance checks, while we are thanking the universe, when we are thanking the spirits, when we are thanking our great mother for the wealth that she has provided to us, at the same time that we are thanking her for what is already certain, we are commanding, honey, I am not opposed to retribution, to reparations, to revenge, to justice. I'm not opposed to none of that. And if you are talking about your abundance just magically coming to you without calling out the names of those who have robbed you blind, man, then you wishing on a star, child. You wishing on some bullshit. This is what it means to be the fates, we women, we portal holding humans. This is what it means to be the fates. This is what it means to be able to take seemingly abstraction and generate it into a physical material force, humans. To be able to speak out of our mouth and assure change in the physical world. And how you gonna attract abundance, bitch, when you ain't even said that at the same time that I am grateful for what is already mine? The wealth that is being hoarded by billionaires is already yours. It already belongs to you. You created it. So while you praying elemental, please let me get some money. Please let me get some money. Please let me get some money. You need to be saying, Spirit, look, the prayer needs to be, I am so grateful for the relinquishing of my wealth, for the freeing of my wealth. I am so grateful that the mother has seen fit to destroy anyone who exploits human beings. Justice from the mother is divine justice. Punishment from the mother is divine punishment. We got to get that Christian shit out of our head where we supposed to be praying for our motherfucking enemies. We praying for our enemies, and this is what has emboldened them. We praying for our enemies, and this is what has enriched them at our expense. We praying for our enemies, and this is why we fucking fucked up in the game, and they coasting on billion-dollar yachts and shit. That's not divine justice, baby. That is not the harmonizing of the scales of justice. And my mother, Oya, my mama, Jacqueline Jeanette Futch, whether she know it or not, my big mama, Marguerite Cook, that ain't what justice is for them. That's not what justice is for them. That at the same time, we are calling, yes, this is a part of our November 19th conspiracy, baby. Yes, it is. We are calling for radical, swift judgment, divine justice that is going to guarantee the radical global release of people's stolen wealth. Yeah, that's what we're calling for. And whatever Mommy Wata, whatever the great mother decides is adequate and like judgment, punishment for those who have created the quagmire that we live in, I accept it. I accept whatever she say. Bitch, y'all gotta pay. Y'all gotta pay. And whatever the mother says, that's what I'm on point with. That's what I'm on board with. That's what I'm on board with. Whatever the mother says, that's what I say. Whatever her will is, that's what I comply to. And all you have to do is look at the mythologies of your mothers to know that they are not simpletons going around praying for their goddamn enemies. Their judgments are swift and sometimes brutal. Their judgments are swift and sometimes brutal. But don't expect, like, I'm rich. You feel me? I at least am a 3-time millionaire. I got $3 million in my energetic bank. Now I need the motherfucking vaults to my $3 million to be open the fuck up. I need my vaults to be open. Every woman that has given birth to a human being, that's your prayer. Thank you for my wealth. Now I need the vaults to be open. I need my wealth to pour down on me like the motherfucking rain. Bitch. You feel me? I need my vaults to be open. I need my motherfucking back pay. I need my minimum of 56 weeks paid vacation. I need my minimum sick time leave. Let me calculate how many times I've been unwell, hospitalized, or whatever since the time I gave birth to my daughter. Since before I had birth, my daughter, while she was still in utero, while I was still crafting her and molding her. I'm going to need my back pay for my sick time. You feel me? So we all millionaires. This is the energy that we have to be speaking out into the universe. We need the vaults to our millions to be opened the fuck up. I'm gonna need you to run what the young kids say. I'm gonna need you to run me my motherfucking money. Run me my motherfucking money. Run me my motherfucking money. Okay? It is long overdue. I'm gonna need my checks. Not only that, I need my mama's vaults to be open. She's still living. I need my mama's vaults to be open. I need her wealth that she well past earned to spill out into her life. I need my mama's vaults to be open for the 2 children that she had. I'm gonna need my big mama vaults to be open the fuck up too. I'm gonna need my big mama vaults to be open the fuck up for the 9 human beings that she created. I'm gonna need you to run us our motherfucking money. I'm gonna need you to run us our money. So that being said, now I'm really gonna go. Email me at EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. If you want a reading, if you need information about the ritual that we are conducting on November 19th, Tuesday night, There is going to be a Zoom link available for those of you who are in another state or in another city and you want to participate, but you cannot do it locally. You can still fully participate via Zoom. So email me if you want information for that. Donate to the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, which just turned 2 years old this past Monday on 11/11. If you want to know how to do that, email me at EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. That's all I got for you. If you want to send a donation through Zelle, same email, EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com through Zelle. Cassandra-Floyd on Venmo, and $DaughterOfTheFates on Cashapp. Okay, DaughterOfTheFates Cashapp, EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com Zelle, and Cassandra-Floyd on Venmo. Support the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Support this event, this ceremony on November 19th. The sister that is hosting us is giving us the space for free, but like in regular ass fashion, she is the only non-white person still left in her area that used to be all Mexican and now is completely successfully gentrified. She's the last holdout, and these white people is on her every day trying to steal her shit. She has an extraordinary, beautiful place that she is offering to us to do this ceremony for free. Part of the ritual I want to be doing is to cover and protect her space from these motherfucking vultures circling over like it's dead flesh. And we want to be able to give her a contribution for the use of the space. So do that. Go to email me at EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com, and I will tell you, I'll give you the link for the Eventbrite. I want everybody to register, even if you are not donating. I want you to register through the Eventbrite so that I can keep an adequate, account of who's coming, who's participating from afar. Once you register, I will email you the Zoom link where you can participate on Tuesday. So now I really got to go out and put the shit off to the last minute. Love you all. Appreciate you for tuning in and listening to me rant. I'll probably do another live today to actually talk about the astrology and some other things. But in the meantime, hope this was helpful. Hope this fed you. Hope this emboldened you. Keep that energy. Keep that energy. This energy is about courageous action, brave action. Opening up your throat chakra and letting the motherfucking fire that's been dying to come the fuck out. If you need to cut somebody out this week, go ahead and do that. If somebody is wrong and the only way to right them, the only way to set them on a course to right is to blast their ass, is to open that fire breathing mechanism in your throat, blast their ass if you need to. Do it out of love, but still blast their ass. Sometimes that's the only way people can hear you. Chairman of an organization I used to be in used to say, the only thing that power concedes to is power. The only thing that power concedes to is power. That's the demand. We're looking at two different personifications of power. We're looking at malignant power, which has imposed itself on all of us for 6,000 years. And then we are looking at its complete opposition, which is divine power, which heals, which empowers, which emboldens, which raises up, which assists the evolutionary process. That's the power that we're calling on. It's power with integrity. It's power with accountability. It is power that heals, power that allows us to thrive collectively. You understand? And so sometimes this power demands that you shine the light on a bitch. I was telling a friend last night, this is the last time I'll say, I was telling a friend last night that sometimes because political correctness has been corrupted so by the state and its propaganda, that it's too easy these days to confuse cowardice for political correctness. Cowardice for political correctness. Oh, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Oh, well, I don't want to say something off-putting. There is a difference. Political correctness, as it began, was a correct idea. You can't just be saying shit slick off the mouth, calling people out their name, calling people nigga, calling people this and this and this and this, doing terrible shit to people, mistreating the handicap. You feel me? Political correctness emerged as a necessary response to all of these aggressions that were happening to marginalized people. But today, political cowardice is mistaken for political correctness. You need to have integrity. That is the basis of political correctness, is to be to have integrity. To have integrity, to not be harming human beings with what comes out your mouth, to be questioning people's very existence, how they live, how they move through the world. That's why political correctness was necessary. And it was shouldered by courage and by bravery to say the uncomfortable thing, to challenge people not to be doing that kind of dumbass shit. Now, political correctness has become a weapon of the state that muzzles your mouth, that muzzles you. Niceness is a weapon by the state that muzzles you under the auspice of being, quote, nice, of being friendly, of being politically correct. You see somebody doing something flagrantly fucked up and you don't say shit. Well, it's not my place to say. I just want to be nice. Can we all just be nice? Can we all just get along? Not if you ain't have, no, we can't all get along. If you ain't got no motherfucking integrity, we can't get along. If you don't know inherently what is the right way to behave in the world when dealing with other human beings, hell no, we can't just get along. As a matter of fact, you're liable to get cussed out for your unprincipled behavior. The unprincipled way you move about the planet. I'm telling y'all, I done dropped this Pluto return shit. This shit is deep. I lost a lot of friends in the last year. People I really care about, man. People I really have feelings for. People I really love. But I'm like, we can't. Nope. We can't move this way. We can't move this way. If you living in the world without no integrity and I find out, no, we can't just be friends. We can't just be nice. We can't just go have drinks after work. Sorry, that it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So how did I get on that? Move in the world with courage and bravery and integrity and shine the light on bullshit when you see it. Sometimes the only salvation for a human being is to be cussed the fuck out, because that's the only thing they can hear. What did I say? Power only concedes to power. Why you talking about praying for your enemies? Your enemies ain't responded to that. Been praying and praying and praying and praying and praying for your enemies. The only thing that they understand is brute force. Power concedes to nothing but power. This is what the mothers are calling for, is for her daughters, for her sons, for her children to express dual and contending power. Power concedes to nothing but we're going to have to stage a contest. And right now the contest can be, in our spiritual and magical machinations that give us the ritual of emboldening that can embolden us to do more. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's all you can infer what you want, but that's all I'm going to say about that. You need the courage before you can make the move. You need bravery before you can make the move. Doesn't mean that you are not afraid and that there is not fear involved. But bravery and courage helps you to overcome fear. That's what's required in the moment, as Oya and Sango, the two great revolutionaries, are about to link up on Tuesday night to do this evolutionary dance on our ass for the next 20 years. November 19th, the period and the energy and the fire inherent in this meeting on November 19th is going to last minimally the 20 years that they are together. But this energy, Pluto and Aquarius, Oya and Sango, is what astrologers are calling an age-defining alignment. That the impact of Oya or Pluto in Aquarius will last a millennia, 2,500 years minimally. But because it's happening at the very beginning of the new galactic year, what is the galactic year? 25,000 years. This same alignment is happening at the same time that we're entering into a new great year, a new 25,000 year period. It's happening at the same time. So the potential that we generate off this energy that we are being gifted with November 19th has the potential to set the stage not only for the next new age, the next 2,500 years, but it also has the potential to reverberate out through a greater portion of the next great year of the next 25,000 years. I personally want to be a part of that. I personally want my name etched in that. I personally have been teaching the way that I teach you so that you too can go down in history as one of the great evolutionary thinkers, one of the great evolutionary participants that saw the writing on the wall and heard the call and said, I was born at the most perfectly epic moment in human history that allows me to be a thoughtful, conscious human being, hearing the mother's call and taking my rightful place at the helm to guide this bitch once and for all. It is an extraordinary time to be alive. So get that bullshit about America and American politics out your mind. Clear the plate of that bullshit so you can chart a course for the future that you want to see made real. This is what the time requires. This is what the period requires, is that if we are going to open our mouth, let it only be to call in the future that we say must exist. That's it. Now I'm done. All right. Peace, power, prosperity, abundance. Have great orgasms. Make great love. Dance with your babies. Play in the mud. Whatever it is. All things in honor to the mother. I love you all. Mommy and I are one. Peace.